Good morning. I'm Jason Tackett, Building Principal, and it's a privilege to welcome you to our Veterans Day ceremony. Today, we pause to honor the courage and sacrifice of the men and women who have served in our armed forces. Their dedication has protected the freedoms we enjoy every day. Students, this is a moment to learn from the legacy of service our veterans represent and to think about how you, too, can make a difference in your communities. To our veterans, thank you for your service, bravery, and sacrifice. We are deeply grateful for all you have given and for your attendance today. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our staff members who have served in the military. Your continued dedication to our students and school community is truly appreciated. Please stand when your name is called. Mark Herron. Sean Wisman. Randy Germer. Tony Stidham. And Amy Raymond. Thank you for your service and for your commitment to the Wildcat family. Let's make today a time of sincere reflection, gratitude, and unity. Thank you again for being here with us. At this time, I would like to introduce Elementary Student Council President Waylon King.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Williamsburg Veterans Day celebration. Today, our school and community come together to honor the men and women who have served and continue to serve for our country. Please rise and remove your hats as we honor our flag with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Please be seated. I'd now like to introduce Junior Class President Brian Chambers.
When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner over 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then. Throughout our nation's history, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen and Guardians have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay the debt we owe those who have served, been wounded, or given their lives for our country. We can, however, express our gratitude to the millions of veterans who live among us, our family members, neighbors, teachers, and friends who remind us what service and sacrifice truly mean. These words appear on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and people they never met. That message applies to every generation of American service members, from World War I to today's active duty military personnel, who continue to protect peace around the world. The price of freedom is high, and we must never forget those willing to pay it. Today, we proudly say thank you to all those who have worn the uniform and kept this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. At this time, we invite you to join us in a brief moment of silence to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Thank you. Now please welcome our elementary students under the direction of Mrs. Karen Green performing Grand Old Flag. Thank you to our elementary students for that wonderful performance. Now please enjoy the Williamsburg Middle High School Symphonic Band directed by Miss Alicia Rader performing the Nathan Hale Trilogy. I would like to introduce Corbin Cribbett, Williamsburg Elementary School Student Council Vice President.
Kyle Hepworth is a 2005 graduate of Amelia High School and a current resident of Williamsburg. He recently retired from the United States Air Force after 20 years of dedicated service. He began his career as a military police officer and later joined the elite Phoenix Ravens team, specializing in the security of Air Force aircraft in challenging and remote environments. During his career, he traveled to nearly 40 countries across 6 continents in support of counterterrorism, counter-drug, and counter-genocide missions. Mr. Hepworth was deployed 3 times to Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Kenya. His final mission or assignment was with Headquarters Air Mobility Commands, where he led a team of more than 300 security specialists responsible for protecting 90% of the Air Force's cargo, air refuelment, and aeromedical aircrafts. Today, Mr. Hepworth works as an operations manager at a major retail fulfillment center in Cincinnati. In his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family and fishing. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Mr. Kyle Hepworth.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent the military community today. I know we have grades K through 12 here, but I have a question right now. Where are the freshmen at? Yeah. When I was in 9th grade, I remember sitting in history class. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning in high school, just like today. Then our principal made an announcement over the intercom that we will never forget. 2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center in New York City. At first, none of us understood what that meant. But as the day went on, we watched the news. Smoke pouring from the towers, people running for their lives, and firefighters charging into danger. I remember the look on my teacher's face. We all felt the same thing: confusion, fear, disbelief. That day, September 11th, 2001, changed everything. For me, it planted a seed. I didn't know it at the time, but that moment would eventually lead me to raise my right hand and serve my country in the United States Air Force. Because even as a teenager, I remember thinking, someone has to do something. And later I realized that someone could be me. That's what Veterans Day is about. It's about ordinary Americans who decided to stand up when their country needed them most. Less than 1% of Americans wear the uniform, but that 1% protects the other 99. No one joins the military for fame. There isn't any. We serve because we believe in this country and its people, its values, and the freedoms that let every one of you learn, speak, and dream big. In my 20 years in the Air Force, I saw bravery and sacrifice every day, not from movie heroes, but from regular people doing hard things quietly. I've seen the world. I've been to countries most people will never visit and have never heard of. I've seen how other nations live and how people struggle under governments where it is illegal to practice the same freedoms we take for granted. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, America is the greatest country on the planet, and it's not even close. We're not perfect. We argue, we disagree, and sometimes we stumble. But here, you get to decide who you want to be. You get to speak your mind, chase your dreams, and shape your own future. That's what we serve to protect. That's why we raise our right hand. The men and women who serve come from every background, big cities and small towns just like Williamsburg, We stood up knowing that service would mean sacrifice, missing birthdays, holidays, and time from family. But we did it because freedom demands that someone always be ready to defend it at a moment's notice without hesitation. We're not superheroes. We're ordinary people who made an extraordinary promise to stand up for something bigger than ourselves. Veterans Day isn't just a breakfast or a short assembly. It's a reminder, a chance to stop and think about what service really means. The best way to honor a veteran isn't just to say thank you. It's to live in a way that keeps the freedom they fought for alive. Work hard, treat others with respect, stand up for what's right, even when it's not easy. Because one day, one of you sitting here might be the 1% who stands up next. Thank you, and happy Veterans Day.
I would now like to introduce Ivy Kelch Winkham, 8th grade student council member.
Established in December of 2019, the United States Space Force is our newest branch of the military, the first new branch in over 70 years. For decades, space capabilities like satellite communications, global navigation, and real-time intelligence have become essential to how modern militaries operate. Investments in space have made our armed forces faster, better connected, more informed, and more precise. Today, the Guardians of the United States Space Force are called to protect and defend Americans' interest in space. They serve around the world day and night to design, acquire, test, operate, and defend the critical space systems that our nation and many nations rely upon. Would all Guardians, past and present, please stand to be recognized? I would now like to introduce Emily Early, Senior Class President.
From the first engagements at Lexington and Concord, through the Civil War, and on the liberation of Europe during World War II, American soldiers have stood for courage and commitment. On June 14, 1775, the Second Continental Congress established their Continental Army so that the 13 united colonies could defend their liberty against British forces. George Washington was selected as the commander-in-chief of this new army and led the nation to independence. Today, the United States Army includes soldiers serving in active duty, the Army Reserve, and the National Guard. These soldiers fill many roles. They are doctors, engineers, computer programmers, helicopter pilots, logistics specialists, and more. It is this diversity of skills and expertise that sets the Army apart. We invite all soldiers, past and present, to please stand and be recognized for your service. I'd now like to introduce Freshman Class President Elena Nagel.
Since its founding on October 13, 1775, the United States Navy has served in every major conflict and countless missions to protect freedom, promote peace, and provide aid around the world. From deterring international aggression to offering assistance in times of crisis, the Navy has long stood ready in service to our nation and humanity. As the world's premier maritime force, the Navy safeguards the freedom of the seas and projects strength wherever it is needed. Sailors serve aboard aircraft carriers, submarines, and ships that patrol every ocean. Others work in aviation, medicine, engineering, logistics, intelligence, and technology, fields that keep the fleet strong and responsive. The Navy also plays a key role in humanitarian efforts, delivering supplies and hope to communities affected by natural disasters. United by the core values of honor, courage, and commitment, sailors uphold a proud heritage that spans nearly 2.5 centuries. We ask all sailors, past and present, to please stand and be honored for your service to our nation. I'd now like to introduce Mia Dillinger, sophomore class president.
The United States Marine Corps was born on November 10, 1775, even before our nation's Constitution was in effect. From the very beginning, this elite branch has held fast to a code of integrity, discipline, and character, producing not just warriors of great strength, but citizens of exceptional character. Guided by the core values of honor, courage, and commitment, every Marine in uniform or civilian life embodies these principles. As America's expeditionary force in readiness, Marines frequently deploy to the front lines of conflict, prepared to respond quickly wherever and whenever needed. Today, the Marine Corps maintains active duty Marines around the world, supported by additional reserve forces ready to defend our nation. The service commitment often begins with several years of active duty, but the bond remains for life. Because as the saying goes, there is no ex-Marines or former Marines, simply Marines in different uniforms and different phases of life. We invite all Marines, past and present, to please stand and be recognized. I'd now like to introduce Beckett Moore, 7th grade student council member.
The United States Coast Guard is one of our nation's 5 military services. Founded on August 4th, 1790, it exists to defend and preserve the United States. The Coast Guard protects the personal safety and security of our people. The marine transportation system and infrastructure are natural and economic resources and the territorial integrity of our nation, from both internal and external threats, natural and man-made. It operates in U.S. ports and inland waterways along the coast and on international waters. The Coast Guard is a military, multi-mission maritime force offering a unique blend of military, law enforcement, humanitarian, regulatory, and diplomatic capabilities. These capabilities underpin its 3 broad roles: maritime safety, maritime security, and maritime stewardship. Today, the Coast Guard continues to serve as a vital maritime force safeguarding our coasts, waterways, and communities across the nation and around the world. Would all Coast Guardsmen, past and present, please stand to be recognized? I'd now like to introduce Alexis Chambers, 6th grade student council member.
The United States Air Force began as a subdivision of the U.S. Army and was declared an official combatant form in 1920. It wasn't until 1947, following World War II, that the Air Force was recognized as its own military branch. The Air Force provides advanced hands-on training for hundreds of careers. Pilots and flight crew are just the tip of the iceberg. The Air Force relies on mechanics, electronic technicians, air traffic controllers, medical staff, and other personnel to fulfill its objectives. Today's Air Force operates in keeping with a three-part vision: global vigilance, reach, and power. This vision empowers a technologically advanced force focused on air, space, and cyberspace superiority. Today, the United States Air Force is made up of a diverse and highly trained force of active duty members, reservists, and Air National Guard, and civilian professionals, working together to maintain air, space, and cyberspace superiority. Would all airmen and women, past and present, please stand to be recognized? I would now like to introduce Mr. Kevin Dunn, Williamsburg Elementary School Principal.
Thank you. And Mr. Hepworth, I want to thank you for an exceptional speech today. What really resonated with me with Mr. Hepworth's speech was that I think we should leave here today inspired to make the commitment that this just isn't a one-time event. And I think the best way that we can honor our veterans as we leave here today, students, is that to remember that sacrifice, that 1% that we may not see or understand as taking place, what they're giving for us to live in such a wonderful community, to receive such a wonderful education, and to enjoy the freedoms that we do. And I know at the elementary school, we commit ourselves to being respectful, responsible, and safe. And at our middle high school, we commit ourselves to being respectful, responsible, and resilient. And I think the best thing that we can do, students, prior to leaving here today is making the commitment to do those things. This just isn't an assembly. Those aren't two catchphrases. They mean something, and I think they serve as the foundation of service, and that we come to understand, students, that each of us have unique strengths and gifts, just as everyone sitting on the chairs on the floor does today, and how we can help make our communities stronger and better. And on that note about being part of a strong community, and before we close, I'd like to take a moment to recognize one of our own Williamsburg family. As we honor our veterans today, we also recognize that service is never carried out alone. Every veteran, every active duty service member has a family standing beside them. Families who serve in their own way through patience, resilience, and of course, sacrifice. One of our Williamsburg Elementary School families is walking that path right now. Declan's father was recently deployed overseas, and we want to acknowledge Declan's mother, Destiny, for the strength and courage she shows each day. Destiny is attending today's ceremony as a special guest with Amy Raymond, our district's military family liaison. On behalf of all of us here, Destiny and Declan, we thank you and all military families for the service and sacrifice. Your family's service reminds us of the very heart of this day, and the fact that last week we had parent-teacher conferences and your husband's participating via video overseas speaks to the level of commitment to not only our country, but your family. For all of our guests, thank you so much, our veterans, for attending today. By you choosing to spend your morning with us, you provide an incredible springboard for learning that I think makes this day so meaningful. Thank you and take care.
Veterans, I would welcome you to stay seated while we get the students back to class. They're going back to learning, and we don't want any of you to get trampled. So at this time, high school and middle school students, carefully, quietly exit the gymnasium back to fourth period. Elementary, you listen to your teachers.